You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
Hey.
Superbad Inc. presents Coffee Pot, another episode. Let's get it, y'all.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Enjoy the holiday?
Great. We just chilling. Had a good time.
A lot of barbecue action going down.
Barbecues is decent, but yeah, we had a lot of barbecue going. The whole nine. Everything was great, and
I think the nation was a lot of barbecuers this weekend. That's for sure. Hanging out, partying.
But the problem is you can't really have a barbecue right now because you got the virus going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be safe to be, out there doing too much with barbecue.
Well, I mean, I'm queuing, and then I bring it in for the family grubby.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So that definitely
let's say
makes
you're having
sense.
a couple people congregating, hanging out, whatever, a little bit of distancing, but a lot of people were hanging out 4th of July, didn't even give a fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Was you smoking on that Superbad?
Oh, yeah, I had, of course.
Okay.
I had a little of the glue.
Yeah. Gave you some of the glue. Okay,
Little
makes
glue.
sense. The GG family is all good.
Absolutely. What about you? What about you, Rico?
I actually, just chilled out, relaxed with the family. It was, where were we at? We had a house in the hills. My sister-in-law's father-in-law, Saul. I think I introduced you to Saul. He's a real estate developer, and he has a couple of homes up there. And they actually quarantined for us for a couple of weeks so they could see the new baby. So we're up there with the new baby. Today's my birthday.
Happy
and
birthday.
Appreciate and
Nice. Happy birthday.
much love and appreciation.
It's a good man right here, y'all.
And it was cool because we haven't really seen a lot of that family. The baby's only seen, you.
Right.
The baby's only seen prior to that like 7 people.
This always happens, and this happened with my girl. I don't know, Carlos or not, whatever. Friends, family. It's very mixed when you see the wife's family when they first see it, the baby, and then your family.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden, what instantly comes in is who they look like.
Always.
It's always controversial.
They look like, and then someone's upset, like, why you think blah blah blah?
Yeah.
And I just shut my fucking mouth when that shit was all going down and stuff. Because what happens is it's like I heard about this, pretty fucking crazy. The reason why the child looks like the dad in the very beginning, first couple months, this, that, whatever, has that resemblance is because it goes back to the caveman period. That when the kid popped out, the caveman knew, that looks like me. You know what I mean? You knew that was your kid. But then if let's say it was a girl or whatever, a lot of times changes more and then becomes like the mother.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But in the very beginning, I think a lot of it is like that. You know what I mean?
It's a family war.
No, it is.
What do you think, Rico? Did you have that semi-controversy going down?
Oh, hell yeah. Because first off, those 4D ultrasounds, they ain't shit, man. They're terrible. That baby looked exactly like me in the womb. It's like they did a deep fake of my face on a little baby in there. That shit was total bullshit. The baby came out looking just like Jasmine, and then after about a month, it started to look like me. And I think like now she has like Jasmine's eyes. She has like my mouth. But it's somewhere in between. But her friends all say that she looks like her. All my friends say they say the opposite. But I did win. I made her laugh first. I made the baby laugh first because parenting is a competition. Despite what anybody says.
Oh shit!
So I got to make the baby. I got to make sure the baby says mom or says mama first. Because I got to give that one.
I think she looks like both of you guys.
I think she's a perfect mix.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a very diplomatic thing for you to say.
Hey, I try to be right all the time.
That's some funny shit.
Yeah, man. What we got, man? We gonna light up, man.
Oh man, let's light something up.
Light something up, something furious.
One of my boys though got into like a little bit of a firework. Not him, but his girl was a victim of fireworks sloppiness.
Oh.
Yeah,
Are they okay?
Yeah. Well, she got her leg kind of mangled because these kids were messing with fireworks, and they were like, "Don't mess with the fireworks, blah blah. Don't stack them, do things like that." And they're like, "Okay." And like a couple hours later, sneak out, try to do it again, put the thing on the rock, felt like kind of falls over after they lit it, and then as it fell, it pointed straight at all the kids playing and everything else, and the thing started launching off.
Oh,
motherfuckers
shit.
running everywhere, and my boy's girl gets tagged by one of them, like blows up or whatever, right in her fucking leg.
Right.
And then got like these wild degree burns and shit, and it's all fucked up.
She gonna be okay?
She'll be all right, yeah. Okay. But it was still savagery. You know what I mean? People like just too excited about being locked up and like just fucking trying to get all these wild giant packs of fireworks, and then aren't being precautious about it. You got to at least like be precautious about it. You know, the people that are running around like trying to light shit off by the hand and this and doing all this crazy shit,
right.
Not like making sure there's a little bit of a thing, because your fucking house is going on fire. You know what I mean? You got to take consideration when you light that shit off.
Houses
It's
do go on
blowing
fire.
up and this and that. But I must say, even though it was absolutely ridiculous, was my boy was like, we got to see what this whole thing is with Trump and the 4th of July Mount Rushmore thing, because they were talking about how they wanted to like change. But, so we watched the fireworks from that just to see what it was like, and they definitely threw down the coin. It was like some of the most ridiculous shit bouncing off fire and this and that. I was like, damn, they fucking spent crazy money just to do that shit.
Yeah, the whole.
But I heard there was a lot of controversy. There were a lot of Indians protesting at there that were from the tribe of that area, and all kinds of stuff going down.
I mean,
that they weren't showing.
At this point, like you just got to know Trump's game, and that's what these liberals like get wrong every single damn time. You're playing into his trap. Everything he does, he is the troll king, and everything he does to get a rise out of you. And if you show that emotion, he wins. That's it.
The troll king. I love it.
He's the troll king, and
I never heard of it like that.
he just does shit to piss people off, like on purpose.
What do you think about what I heard about Kanye, like semi-tweeting that he might run for president last minute or something crazy?
Yeah.
But
I think it's a joke. It's a joke, right? He's not going to do it, right? It was like a bullshit.
I mean, I think he may try,
right?
But you know,
how many people have to sign up for you to be an independent person? They said he has to have enough signatures. Like, how many do you need? I'm curious. We should Google that shit.
That'd be
How many?
Rico,
Why
don't you Google that?
How many signatures does one need
Every state
to run for president?
I know every state is different.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
every state is different, but he's already missed out on five deadlines, and one of them being very important, I believe, New York.
Somehow he'll be able to run. Somehow he will be able to run.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
that's as
fucking
much
wild.
as I'll say about it.
I think that's wild, though.
Yeah, he will be able to, but at the same time, it's why? Like, why this late in the game? And all you're doing is splitting votes at this point.
Ask yourself that question.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Actually.
because he's Donald Trump's homeboy, and you're splitting votes. Like if
how is it a homeboy? That means he'd be losing votes.
No,
Because he'd be taking away votes from Trumpy.
No, he'd be taking votes away from Biden.
Yeah. Let's not
I
really.
see.
Yeah. All you got to do is, everybody listen to the show. All you got to do is use your head on that whole situation that he just said. We'll leave it at that.
Really?
Let's go to the next topic.
All right, next topic.
Carlos may or may not have a horse in that race.
I love it.
He has to recuse himself from that conversation.
I love it. That's some wild shit right there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What's the next
Today's topic, let's talk about the business of the cannabis.
Oh shit.
We never really get into that.
10,000. That's all you need is 10,000 signatures.
Okay.
That's not a lot.
Okay.
Come on, man.
That would the kind of he has that many fans in every state.
Right.
Yes.
He has
This is one tweet.
Free tickets. I'm gonna perform a concert in every state.
Dude, Carlos,
That's it.
hey, we should
sign out as they come into the fucking concert hall.
No, seriously, we should run for president. Like all three of us. It'll be something new. Like no, fuck your vice president. We got vice president. We all vice presidents.
Let's make it happen.
This is the triumvirate.
definitely got the coffee pot going down.
Hell yeah.
we do.
Coffee pot for president.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna put that on stickers and everything. Coffee
Yes.
pot for president.
Yes.
Today, let's go over the cannabis industry. We talk about it a lot, but we don't really get into the money aspect of it. Why is cannabis so important? Where years ago it wasn't that important, but today it's very important. Let's talk about why Rico's in the business. Why did I create a brand? Why is Andrew a pioneer that's been around for years in cannabis?
OG.
Let's get into some of those hard questions and ask each other.
Well, why don't you start off with why you started Superbad?
I know. Jadakiss, he's the human embodiment of Jadakiss and Anthony Hamilton over here, asking everybody why.
Why? Okay. Well, the reasons why, because I wanted to, for one, the medical aspect of the whole business was important to myself.
Because you don't puff.
And
let's break it down.
Our team.
You do not puff. You're not a puffer.
No, not in public.
But you have a love of the herb.
Yes.
No
one has seen me. No one has seen me do it in public.
Sure.
So no one can give opinion on if I do or if I don't.
Sure.
He's like Donald Trump with a face mask on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the reason was,
Rico enjoys
it
the
has
herb.
great. Oh yeah, definitely. But it has great medical benefits.
Absolutely.
And of course, along the line there is recreation, which that's more of the money side of it. But I do it for the people. I love the medicine of it because my whole thing is trisomy 12. That's one of the foundations that will be built because we need to. I mean, we talk about autism a lot, but there's only along those lines is trisomy. You got trisomy 12. You got trisomy 21. You got trisomy 17.
What is that? What is trisomy?
Those are chromosomes in the body as far as different aspects of what's needed, not having enough oxygen when you were born.
Okay.
So a lot of these kids end up sick, and that's one of the things I want to put my whole drive behind.
Okay.
Superbad as a whole team, the foundation. That's something that we want to do. We want to be able to help out.
Now there's herb. There's pre-rolls. Will there be edibles?
No.
Okay.
Because when you
Why not?
think of the reason why is because when you think of Superbad, you don't think of an edible. Edible is something, it's a different aspect. When you think of Superbad, you think of something that's bad. So I don't think when you're eating something, it needs to have an edible behind it. That's my opinion. I'm pretty sure one day we may try it, but right now it's not. I'm thinking when I think bad, I think Superbad.
So when you say bad, you mean bad meaning bad or bad meaning good?
Bad meaning good.
Ooh, how good.
Because if it is
Super bad
if
good.
it is super bad good, then when a super bad edible be super bad good. You know what I mean? So you got to think about that too. Though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's it's not.
But
me.
it is costly to expand on the platform. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but oils though, right?
Definitely concentrates. The concentrates.
Little dabby.
The concentrates are called batter. We have diamond,
The
crumble, shatter.
the batter.
Yeah, batter.
I like it.
BADDER.
Are you gonna have some diamonds? You can call them the baddest.
Yeah, we got rid of the whole nine. The diamonds is called the baddest.
I like that.
We have all aspects of that.
I like the diamonds. I like that.
Yo.
But they don't. It was kind of like super crazy where diamond everywhere, and then all of a sudden it went whoop, just like
We'll bring it back.
Disappeared real weird.
We'll
right?
bring it back. Yeah.
Is
And then come back,
Is
you know?
it because of the process?
I think it's probably a lot of people had a lot of trouble getting the THCA because it became so, and getting it in that diamondy kind of crystallized form and stuff became real expensive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And oil that's good shatter or something worthy of dumping that in costs a lot of money too. So I mean, you're talking about elite market right there, top end connoisseur type stuff. You know?
Yeah. So next week I bring some concentrate, so you guys can look at it and check it out. And I mean, we got the whole
in a
the whole
dispensary. By the time you pay tax and this and that, and you had something that's a diamond added fucking thing with whatever, you're gonna spend at least $100 for a gram probably.
Right.
Tax and everything else. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's some pricey shizzle.
How are they going to fix that? They have to fix that shit.
But
Like
along those lines,
everybody's done.
Speaking on that,
2 years.
Andrew,
Yeah, man.
Superbad is a top shelf brand.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing. It is a top shelf brand.
What is it? I mean, being a marketing guru and everything, or like a branding guru, what makes a top shelf brand a top shelf brand?
Quality,
Okay.
packaging, story. The story is everything. You know, the story being behind what you're doing and who you're targeting. And when we say top shelf, it's no different than, you know, having the best tequila. It's still, you still want everybody to have it, but you want it, you have it, but you have it with class. So that's the only difference. We're not a luxury brand, we're a top shelf brand.
And explain what the difference is between luxury and top shelf.
Well, a luxury brand is luxury brand is something that you have only you're on vacation.
I got you.
Different aspects. No, we're top shelf. Top shelf is an everyday thing.
Top shelf is an everyday thing, but the higher quality type of life.
Yes. I'm top shelf.
Okay.
Top shelf.
Everybody in Superbad is top shelf.
I got you.
So,
Top shelf do.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so next let's talk about you,
Okay.
Rico. You have been pushing the needle on change in cannabis
Yeah.
since it became legal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why
Why do I want to change it?
and why do you want to change it? And you having a tech background, along with being an educated speaker and an educated person,
Yeah.
why?
Because it saved my life. 3 times. I got a TED Talk about it.
Yes.
No, but seriously, it did. In college, I always say I was a bigot, right? Because racism comes from a place of power. Shout out to Michelle Alexander. But no, but seriously, I was raised up not to like white people, not to like brown people, not to like anybody that didn't look like us. Homophobic, you name it, everything. And it wasn't until I got to college, started smoking weed in my spare time. Like, who are the other stoners? The ones that look like everybody.
Right.
There's no like, okay, it's just some white kid with dreadlocks and you know, like a poncho. Like, nah, like Asian kids do, the gay kids do, the white kids, like everybody smokes weed. So it broke down social barriers. The second time, when I was addicted to pills off of football, from college football, I ended up selling weed to survive.
We're D1 brothers.
Yes,
We're
we are.
D1
Yes, we are.
Yes. I understand it.
Yeah, I sold to survive. And then the third time is when I actually broke my addiction with it. So I was able to break my addiction with it. Before that, I thought medical cannabis was a bunch of bullshit. I thought it was just like an excuse for everybody, just get it. Oh, I can sell weed now medically. And I was like one of those dudes. And when I found that, it helped me break that shit, man. Like,
Sure.
I didn't know anything about the science.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're talking about in Cali, it went on for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long ass time.
And as our group, we have 3 guys here. This is our group. This is our core group. And we only have one stoner, and that's Andrew, a true fucking stoner.
Are you talking about like a legendary?
Yes. Yes.
The deity that he is.
Yes.
Yes. Like you.
I'm like the Greek Jew Yoda
Yeah.
No, like
of weed.
I would have never got to where I was if it wasn't for some of the foundation that you laid.
Sure.
Like years ago.
Thanks, man.
And that's the reality. It's the domino effect. It's the butterfly effect. Like one thing like causes a ripple.
Sure.
Like you breaking down those barriers earlier, somehow that translated into me finding an actual strain that helped me kick addiction. Because the shit that I was selling, the shit that I was smoking in Chicago,
Sure.
like that was like brick. It was straight brick.
Yeah, and this is the thing.
Like for real.
It was because
Y'all are spoiled.
Before
We
9/11,
was smoking grass.
before
Yeah.
9/11, things were much easier to ship from different, Mexico to the U.S. or Canada to the U.S.
Right.
all changed when all that security and Homeland Security and all those things changed.
TSA.
But back then, from that point, prior to that, for almost 40, 50 years or more, Mexico lived on just fucking weed that they grew, that had seeds in it. They didn't give a fuck. They would crush them with car crushers.
Wow.
And then they'd have a big stick that they would put in, and they would know how high the bricks would be. And then they would spray it with ammonia and literally cut them into bricks, and that's how that brick weed
that brown
was
shit.
always known. Yeah, and then they would just put them on the CAT bulldozers and all that type
the
of
Caterpillar.
shit.
Yeah.
And they would just fill where they'd lay them on top. You know what I mean? They'd drive them on top, but they'd fill the underboards with all the fucking brick weed. And that was one of the ways that they fucking used to do it shit like that. But you can't get away with none of that shit because 9/11, they're scanning this, that, whatever. There's all kinds of shit. And that's what changed because most of America did not smoke chronic.
Yeah, right.
In the 70s, in the 80s. You know, it was starting to get chronic-y. 90s was forming more and more. And then by the time it got to late 90s, early 2000s, then Oaksterdam, this, all these things started blowing up. Cali, all those like strains, this, collective, this, things so much in open learning about something. That's
whole new
that's
world.
the whole blew up to everything we have now today.
That's what's up.
It's a whole, and so we would get it in waves though. So here's the thing: we would have some dope ass Bubba Kush like one fucking week, and then 2 weeks later, we back to the dirt. and the thing was, in Chicago, there was no markets. We made the market, and we had to make that zip stretch. So we would always do like straight dub sacks all day long, like breaking into dub sacks. Like, oh, you want an eighth? $90.
Get that money.
Yeah.
I gotta make that shit back up.
Now, let's talk about the business of cannabis in the sense that right now, at this moment, because of COVID, because of everybody staying home, because everybody's don't even really want to go into the fucking dispensaries. Plus, a lot of people growing the weed in the dispensaries and shit like that, they don't really coming in and working as hard or doing shit because they don't want to catch nothing, right?
That's true.
So black market has surged to skyrocketing levels where homies are now getting $35,000 to $4,000 a pee for fucking weed.
That is true.
And it's now getting back to the prices that it was a fucking decade ago.
That is
Yeah,
true.
the shit is crazy. I saw a menu. Yeah, I saw a menu like, was it like a month and a half ago? Yeah, because I had some friends in from out of town, and they needed some shit, and I was like, is this 06?
Yeah.
Are we back at 07?
It's a drought though.
Like
It's
that's
not
why.
it's not just the drought.
It's a bad drought though.
It's not just the drought.
supply chain is broken.
People don't want to pay the taxes and this and all this extra bullshit.
Yep.
They'd rather just pay somebody $200, $250 a fucking ounce, and what's that? $4,000 a pound. You know what I'm saying? Prices boop back up. You know what I mean? And everybody I know, like old school motherfuckers, are all just coming out of nowhere and shit, ripping out, doing the hydro, doing the shit they did like 10, 15 years ago, cracking all that shit back out again. I think it's great because in a lot of states you're allowed 6 plants legal, and if I had a fucking 3-gallon bucket in the 5-gallon bucket, with the hydroton, a little hydro fucking beast in itself, 1 or 2 plants underneath every 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 3,000 watts, 6 plants legal, 2 under each one, or even if you really want to get ballsy, 1,000 under each one because you're allowed 6. Do something fucking crazy like that. You're gonna get pounds of weed off of fucking 1 plant. You know what I mean? I'm talking about chronic. You know, so why not do that legally, grow it legally, sell half of it. You know what I mean? As a patient to other homies or whatever you need to do to cover your costs, and boom, and it's recreational. You actually can just sell it if you're over 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that's it. You're good.
Right. Yeah, shit done changed, man. Shit has really changed. And just to think, like when I was young in Virginia, there was really not that much different than smoking like weed from VA than smoking some cigarettes. That shit was that bad, right? And then in Chicago, I got my little taste like, oh, this is different. Like, but it was only some of the time. And then out here, like, I don't think I've ever smoked bad weed in California. I don't think I've ever. There's lower grade stuff,
right?
But it's not really lower grade until you like know what if you know what the rest of the country's smoking.
That is true.
Because that shit is garbage.
This is home. This is home of cannabis.
Like bottom shelf shit here is still better than the best.
But
over there.
More than half of the country, 3/4 of the country, is already medical,
right?
If not recreational.
And everybody still comes to Cali to get it.
Well, yes, because there's all this other things, and training, blah, blah. But I think that way more of the populace of America know a lot more about good bud. Because let's be realistic, even all these dispensaries and everything opening up, they might not have the best of the best weed, but they don't have the worst.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right. That is true.
Because it's regulated, and this, making sure there's no mildew, making sure there's no bacteria.
The cleanest.
The cleanest.
It makes it safe. Yeah.
Weed you will ever smoke.
Yes.
Shit, when we were buying Mexican weed and talking about brickweed, they
spray
spray it with ammonia.
Right.
Oh shit!
You didn't know what the fuck they like, but you know.
I forgot where we are. We're right in Cush's neighborhood too.
Oh, Cushman?
Yeah,
of course, absolutely.
Yeah, we're right in his hood too. He told me to hit him up. I gotta get him on here. Because I was on his pod. He has been on Canabusiness.
He's still a little COVID crazy though.
Right.
Even though he's down the street.
You got to get some people like that. You got to mix it up. You got to mix it up. It's good to dialogue with the other side, because you get to understand where people are coming from and why they think that. And you can break down that shit. It's not our job to break down that shit, but it breaks down in them. Even if you don't have those conversations. I didn't have those conversations with some of the folks that I grew up with in Virginia. Like 10, 20 years later, they're like, man, I've been watching you. I understand this. I actually looked into that. And that's dope. Like, because they never dropped no N-bombs around me or nothing like that. Like those people get canceled. But but there was some white dudes who were just there.
Right.
They were rednecks, whatever. I got a lot of redneck friends from back home.
Right.
And I didn't really develop relationships with them until later. And they saw me on Facebook.
Right.
I would have never talked to these motherfuckers ever again. And then we saw each other at my 10, maybe 15-year reunion.
Right.
And when I brought Jasmine. Matter of fact, anybody who's been to a high school reunion, that I won, right? Like we went back to that shit and we won. I was like, yeah. They're like, well, yeah, what happened to Rico? What happened to Rico? Like, yeah, NFL thing didn't work out. Like, yeah, I brought the baddest bitch on earth back with me. And I tried it. And I was in finance at the time, so I was like, I was laced, right? And the worst part is I go there and I was like, I'm going to rent a Lambo. I'm going to roll up in that bitch.
Shit.
But the best car they had was a Camaro SS.
Was that good enough?
Yo, it was good enough, though.
There you go.
I pulled up
there.
Damn.
Right.
You're getting it.
Right. Exactly.
I could not drive that in Chicago.
but let's be realistic. Chicago, Illinois, in the past few years, has blown up to a mecca of quality weed.
Yes.
And quality weed hangout.
Yes.
Hangout places.
Yes.
Where people are allowed to congregate and smoke weed in the club or this or whatever. And that atmosphere makes a huge difference in Chicago.
So big a difference because it's a drinking city.
I agree.
I lived there 12 years.
Do some of them allow alcohol with the weed in it or no?
I don't think so.
No, that's separate.
Yeah.
But regardless, you have that feel, that city, Chicago, has.
Right. I love that. It's my favorite city. I lived there 12 years.
The clubs in itself that you can hang out and just smoke weed probably have what I felt when I went to a couple of them, had that super cool, come sit down and chill.
Right.
Come on, hang out, we'll throw some music on this, whatever it is, like that kind of cool vibe. You know what I mean?
Right. That's important too.
Chicago, man, it doesn't matter what your budget is, doesn't matter what your taste is in music, in food, doesn't matter. Like, you will have a great time. Like, period. You can be broke as fuck and have a great time in Chicago, as long as it's not the winter. By the way, like we had like 6.5
very
month
close.
lectures.
Yes.
Shout out to Geno's East and West, right?
Yeah, Geno's. Yeah.
Still, nah.
Fuck Geno's.
Rico ain't put that.
Hey,
Shout out to Harold's
Geno's.
Chicken.
What's it-
We love you, Geno's. We love you.
That's it. Now we don't get no free pies when we go there. What the fuck's going on?
I can get free
love
pies. No,
Harold-
Lou Malnati's.
I love Harold's Chicken. That's my spot.
right.
But which one though? Every Harold is,
Not
is
every
different.
one. The one my boy owns, Jack. He
If
owns
someone
one.
was going to go
On
then,
the south
in your
side.
opinion, for
Right.
the ultimate deep dish experience,
Yes.
and let's just also for those that are novices
Yes.
to the deep dish that they need to know, is that plan on when you get there and you order a deep dish, you're going to wait at least 45 minutes
Yes.
because you have to wait for it to be done and made properly and get a fucking pimping, unbelievable, disgusting experience. But when you get it, it is unbelievable and well worth the wait.
I agree. They're known for that deep dish.
Yeah. So if you live in Chicago, there's only two real deep dishes, and that's Lou Malnati's or Giordano's.
Okay.
Right. It depends on if you're more into the crust or you more into the sauce.
Oh, interesting. See, now that
I'm more into the crust.
You're into the crust, so you want the butter crust that comes with Lou Malnati's.
Okay.
But if you're really into the sauce,
okay.
you got to go with Giordano. Giordano's has a better sauce.
Now,
And if you're really into it, Pequod's. Pequod's is a dark horse.
Okay.
now, I've had ones when I go to these places, short rib, this, all these crazy type of combination, creative, deep dish combos. What is, Rico, one of your unique all-time favorites that you rolled in and had? As far as combinations in the actual deep dish.
You gotta go with the Supreme, man, or the Works is what they call it. The thing is just so thick, and I didn't know how many. So each slice is like 1,600 calories. I didn't even notice. Yeah, like no joke.
What?
Like no joke.
What?
Yes, that's just like that fucking thick.
Okay, wow.
It's like straight up dough, like half of that shit.
Yeah.
That
But what's
shit-
in a Works? What kind of is meats? This, all that.
Yeah,
what's
you get
in it?
all the meats. You get a sausage. I think it's ground beef, and you also get the pepperoni.
Meatball.
You can get meatball on top of it too.
Damn.
I'm not
But
big on the
that's
meatball
over,
on
you're
it,
sure. Okay.
but that'd be good though.
What else?
I might be high right now. So you get green, red pepper, bell pepper too, yellow if you ask them for it. Onion, olives, mushroom, and tomatoes too. So sliced
Wow.
tomato. That's a Chicago
Wow.
thing. Sliced tomato all over your pizza.
I love the sliced
Okay.
tomato.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
I think that shit's great.
How about steak in Chicago? What's your favorite steak place?
So I don't necessarily. I went straight for the pizza stuff. I was kind of like a pizza hog. I couldn't help
Okay.
myself, like
I love
maybe
that
a little
steak.
seafood action or something like that. I went for, but I didn't really. The meats I can have everywhere.
That's true. but
I guess I'm just too.
I love
Yeah.
Gibson Steakhouse. What's
Gibson's
your-
is the best.
Yeah.
Gibson's is the absolute best.
Yeah, I love that
Hey,
place.
shout out to Reggie. Hey, Reggie, I would have been homeless on the streets selling whatever if it wasn't for you. Gave me that first job as a bouncer at Goose Island. Love you, brother. And he introduced us to Gibson's because he used to work at Gibson's. He's the manager at Goose Island. So Goose Island, Wrigleyville, that's where I used to bounce.
Okay.
And that's when I started selling dope.
Okay.
But he was the manager there. And Reggie's a brother from the streets, like half black and Puerto Rican.
Okay.
And so he's from Humboldt Park, so West Side. And he taught me so much, man. Like he took me just like under his wing. He's like, yeah, you used to play for Northwestern? I was like, yeah. I just got hurt, ruptured my Achilles.
Right.
And I didn't have shit else, man. Like for real. He brought me under and he introduced me to Gibson's because he used to bring us over there like once a month. And they would treat us for everything. So we went in there and it's like me coming off the streets, literally.
Right.
And I get to enjoy a great atmosphere, and we got to like kick it with the people who worked there. And Gibson's is fantastic, man. You get the bone-in ribeye.
Steak. Wow.
Now, is there a place in Cali, SoCal, comparable to get somewhat of a Chicago deep dish feel? Is there any transients that you know come out and opens up a little mom pop or something? Aside from which I don't compare it, but Fresh Brothers definitely has like for
What is
the.
that?
You never had Fresh Brothers?
No,
Deep dish pizza.
I never had it.
Yeah, it's a small chain of pizza places in Cali. They're like fucking, not like
Fresh Bros.
Fresh Brothers.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I would say you just go straight to Barry's Pizza to match up to their deep dish.
Where's Barry's? Was that Hollywood or?
It's on 3rd.
Oh, it's a downtown.
No,
Right.
Downtown LA.
Beverly Hills, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, 3rd Street between La Cienega and 3rd.
Oh, okay.
You got one there.
I got my homies. They about to call in too.
So
Have them
Lobster
call on the
pizza.
call-in line though.
So they had a lobster pizza.
So then
Andrew.
we have the.
Already on it.
All right, cool. Ooh.
So what do you think of that lobster pizza?
Lobster
Yes.
pizza.
I've never had the lobster
Man.
pizza. I've never had
It's
it.
fucking banging.
It's incredible.
Because it's like shrimp Diablo,
Yeah, so-
almost
so-
like,
so- so
but the
definitely-
lobster.
Barry's, can you make sure soon that you bring some pizza up here so we can make
That
sure
would-
that
that
we
would
get
be
some
crazy.
lobster pizza so the whole crew can taste some.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That just sounds wild.
Yeah. What kind of sauce do you have? Do you have like regular marinara sauce?
I would think it'd be like a Diablo.
They have a lobster sauce. It comes on there and it's
Ooh.
incredible.
Ooh.
Incredible.
White or red sauce?
It's red. It's
Okay,
incredible.
red.
And they got the white.
We gotta get the brothers from James Hammer. We got John Alston and James Victor.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 dope ass cats. Young too.
Right.
I think they're low, young 30s as well. And just doing dope shit.
Oakland.
Oaktown, man. How you feel about Oakland, man?
I like Oakland. Oakland's a good city.
Like I said, I remembered going to Oaksterdam in the early 2000s when it was first going on. They let most of the places you were allowed to just buy your weed, kick it and smoke, and everyone can hang out and shit. I remember going to one of the most famous places at the time, and you go into this place and you go down the stairs and you be in this wild area where you can hang out, and literally was a place that before it was open for many, many years, almost like 30, 40 years, it was where the Black Panthers used to go and meet.
Cool.
And it was like one of the coolest fucking places.
That's what's up. We got Drew Money in the house. That's his new name, Drew Money.
Drew Money.
All right.
Stack bundles.
I hope so.
No, I love Oakland, man. Like Oakland is.
But then it changed. Then they wouldn't let you smoke in it. And then they changed it back. And over the years, it all got kind of fucked up. Now,
talking about the clubs?
Now Oakland is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right? And you can smoke. Can you smoke in them? In some of them that they have
They don't
social?
they don't say shit. They'll-
Yeah.
Like these brothers will be able to tell you better than me. But
Sure.
my experience over the last few years, because I've been doing business up and down
Got better.
the coast, like they let you do whatever in
Sure.
Oakland. Like you can
Sure.
just like walk down the street smoking a joint like it's
Yeah,
like
it
it's
was
nothing.
it was usually super fucking liberal.
Yeah.
Always has been.
So they're calling it
That was
one
the
line.
epicenter.
Right. No, I love it up there because they about that action up there, man. And when I first came in, into the to the industry on the legal side and everything, I was trying to like learn what's going on in Oakland, what's going on in LA, as far as people getting cannabis to people who look like us, and then also folks that were black and brown entrepreneurs. They're actually doing dope shit because I didn't have that in finance at all.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
What's happening, brothers? Hey, you on? What up?
All right,
Are
so,
you on? All right, so
so I think we lost you guys on the radio part,
you guys got
and then it went to the video.
There you go.
At this point,
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. Just
There we
There you
go.
go. Yes,
Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, good.
We ready. So
All right, perfect. Awesome.
Why don't you guys?
What's going on? I think John is on the call as well too, so he could hear you.
So why don't you
Okay.
guys?
Yeah,
Why don't
you-
you guys take a moment to give a little shout out each about what you do in the cannabis industry, and maybe actually what you did before that, because that's always very interesting that we hear from people what they did before they chose to all of a sudden switch it up and get into this wonderful herb that we use for many different reasons.
Okay, cool. All right, so my name is James Victor. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of James Henry SF. What we are is we are a responsible cannabis brand. What we do is we create opioid alternatives, and we create a lot of our formulations with medical doctors. How we basically got into the space. Actually, let me track back. So we have 3 IPs that's currently out in the market. Specifically, we started with oil, and we just launched our flower line as well as our pre-roll line, but we're focused more so not just necessarily on the THC content, but we're focused more so on like the flavonoids, terpenes, what we consider the true medicine of the plant.
Sure.
Okay.
For cannabis, the interesting part is like I'm from New York. I'm a Brooklyn boy, Brooklyn born and raised native, and my entire family is Haitian born. So we've always used roots, we've always used herbs to heal ourselves, and only using roots and herbs. But the interesting part is we've never, in my culture, we just never looked at cannabis as really as a medicinal thing at all. They still think of it as crack cocaine.
Right.
You know, the interesting part, if you coming from the East Coast, the only thing you know is, if you just got that good smoke, the worse it smells, the better it's going to smoke, and that's it. Like, there is no medicinal education at all.
We didn't know shit on the East Coast, right?
But let's.
What I found even crazier is just the fact that.
And what year is that?
That communication.
What year is that?
Say that again?
What year are we talking about? How recent that you feel that there's still this unawareness going on?
In terms of the education, understanding that cannabis is a medicinal plant, I still think that lack of education is still prevalent today when we're talking about the East Coast. And I'm going to tell you why. You have to understand, in the East Coast, they were still looking at things like mandatory sentences. They were still looking at, you get caught with a joint and you could be looking up to 3 to 7 years in prison.
All my homeboys.
For people, so for people to even process that this is a medicine, they can't even put that in their mindset because it's just like, dude, you're just a pothead telling me that this medicine is so you can justify what you're doing, not realizing that there's a systemic, and then when you start breaking down the systemic issue with why that is, you just sound like a conspiracy theory. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do with our brand was like really bridge that gap, like educate people, but also have people understand, like, look, this is literally a medicine. Like, we actually need this. The human body is producing this. We need it in order to fully function. And overall,
hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there. We got to introduce y'all first, man. Introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about James Henry. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
Well, I myself am I'm the Southerner and everything, as you talked about earlier and everything. And so from Louisiana, born and raised. And, I was a ROTC guy in college and everything. I tried cannabis in high school, kind of socially and everything like that. But at the time, back in 2002, 2003 time frame, Louisiana was probably still getting like the donkey weed that was coming out of like an animal carcass from Mexico. So it wasn't necessarily the best quality stuff like what they had over here in California. And then, lo and behold, I'm in college and I do an internship out here in the Bay Area at Lawrence Livermore as an engineer and everything. And, I spent the entire summer not smoking because of fear from, random drug testing from the military and everything. But peer pressure got me before I went back to college and everything in summer 2006. And I mean, it was the best experience probably I'd ever had in my life. And this is coming from somebody who in college, like I used to drink people up under the table. It was nothing to grab a bottle and just be like, come on, let's go. Let me go ahead and put you out your misery. And,
I like that.
Events like that, as I went through my professional career, military, engineering, I flew for the Navy after college and everything. Proud HBCU graduate from Southern University in Baton Rouge. Got to give it up for those Jaguars. And, one of the most important things that I remember when I turned into more of a social connoisseur after my military career was that, cannabis was helping me sleep better, was giving me a break from some of the PTSD, anxiety, and things like that the military had caused. And, the PTSD, what people don't often talk about is just that there's a level of anxiety being a black man walking around America when, You could just be running and walking outside, and citizen or not, police officer or not, somebody can roll up on you and shoot you, and there's absolutely no justice for your death. I mean, you minimize those types of things, and you have that type of anxiety just to protect yourself and your family. So that combined with military and with, professional career kind of like woes and everything kind of led to this social discovery of cannabis for me. But in 2016, I had a breast cancer scare with my mother that absolutely led to the medicinal side and the medicinal knowledge and research that James and I have been doing over the past few years. And, one of the things that I just want to say about James Henry is that when you look at the brand, the artwork has a message and a communication tool that James can talk more about, but the brand is done solely as a Black-owned brand that is commercialized and just well-suited to improve those negative stigmas just by the imaging and just by the messaging and education that we do in the brand alone.
All right,
I got as a social equity operator, that's something unique, and that's something that we wanted to definitely capitalize on as being kind of like our differentiator in the market.
I got a question for y'all. What separates your brand from any other brand, in your opinion?
I will say that it's us, but James might have a different take on that.
Okay, let's hear both of y'all opinion.
One of the things that differentiate us from other brands, I'll say, is the fact that one, we are focused specifically on the cannabinoid overall as a whole plant in general. Not just that, but we also are educating like our communities, not just to understand the human physiology as well as how it interacts with cannabis. Not just from a perspective of like, okay, look, I'm trying to get lit, which is true too, but there's a whole other segment that we're leaving behind, and we're not having that conversation. And I'm not going to wait for a company that comes around that does not look like me to teach me that information when we've had this access to the plant for the longest periods of time. So the one thing that we wanted to do that was definitely different than other brands is really root ourselves in the medical, root ourselves in the science, and also culture. So we wanted to find a way to attach culture, legacy, as well as medical and science, and bring them into one force. And 9 out of 10 times people feel like they all have to be separated, but they really don't.
Now, there's
a way to commercialize it and market it in such a way where everyone can receive the message at the end of the day.
What does legacy mean to you guys?
And that's just as a brand. I can say, like, as a company and everything, man, and as a Black-owned company, we have rooted in our ethos basically a system where we want to contribute to Black and brown professionals in the space throughout our supply chain. So when we procure from farms, flower products, and when we procure oil products and so forth, anything that we're using in our supply chain for our products, our procurement doctrine is that we absolutely source from Black and brown cultivators first, women-owned cultivators first, and then we go for our allies and our partners out there that are helping other Black and brown businesses in the industry as well. And then the other thing that we do on the other side of that is that we are totally focused on making sure that the negative stigma around cannabis is combated by education as well as products. So for our products, we provide an easily identified system for people to identify products to use throughout any portion of the day. And in doing that, we basically help consumers avoid consuming indica products and thinking that they're going to go to work and have this productive day. If you're not like
that's the
you're
worst.
Not doing anger management or anxiety management and things like that, indica is absolutely going to make you kind of like sleepy and drowsy at work. Whereas for a high stress, high anxiety person, that same product may optimize their workday by just helping them slow down their thoughts and just relaxing at work and getting through some of that.
But
so that's just something that we're doing in terms of like integrating that lifestyle and education concept into our products as well.
Right, but on top of all of that, y'all are just some cool ass brothers too. So it's not like
we paid Rico to say that.
Hey,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Your Venmo just went cha-ching.
No, but real talk.
Love, man.
No, real talk. No, it's one thing to get it from like no hate or anything to anybody, period. But no hate to like the real like classic scientific looking motherfuckers, like my good friend Eni Afia from Canasafe. He is the chief scientific officer over at Canasafe, but he's a more cerebral, classic lab coat, clean, clean cut. He doesn't look like, like street motherfuckers. Like I would go like back in the day, but back before I was refined and everything. Y'all look like some motherfuckers that I'll go get into some shit with. Like brothers like brothers I could hang out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like brothers I could hang out with. And it's changing the face of it because and not just like on some street shit. You know what I'm saying? So like a shout out to y'all, everything y'all do. I love you.
You guys got an Instagram, website, any kind of things people want to hit you up and check out the brand?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hit us up, JamesHenrySF.com. James got social handles for y'all.
Yes, so James Henry SF is what you'll find on Instagram as well as on Facebook. In terms of if you just want to shoot us an email, you can go at info@JamesHenrySF.com. You can also go check out our website, which is JamesHenrySF.com. So everything is now back to James Henry SF.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll definitely have you guys.
Check out that fire, our products and everything. We got our retail partners online, and if you're out there in LA, check us out on the road delivery, as well as JamesHenrySF.com. Click delivery.
You guys got to drop. We're in Woodland Hills.
Come on,
you guys
got to
drop a little package off, and then we'll have you on. We'll have you on live.
I told y'all can flex.
We got y'all covered, brothers.
We'll have you on live.
Let's
You
go.
actually come into the studio. You can see from the cameras. It's pretty cool in here.
Yeah.
So you gotta come over and do a live show. But
Definitely drop a package off.
Yes.
absolutely, we'll do a little product.
We like to
product
critique.
review. Product
We'll do some
review.
product review. We know, I got you. Yeah, man, pull up and flex whenever y'all want, man. Y'all know what it is. All
100%.
love.
We really appreciate the love. Always appreciate the love.
Yes, sir.
No doubt,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you guys.
100%.
Have a good one. Take care. Everybody be safe, be light. Make sure you wear those face masks out there. COVID is real.
Hell
And we
yeah.
got to show you the art too, Rico. Don't forget the art. We got to show you the art.
Hit me up this week.
This segment was sponsored by Vertical Companies and Superbad Inc. will conclude. Holla.
You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.